I'm 7 years old, walking through the park on Division with Mommy to Uncle Joe's house. This place is covered with those things the doctor pokes you with. Cigarette butts, round clear things, and broken bottles. Mom says, watch yourself because I could hurt myself on the glass. And it always smells funny like my sister's pamper. There's people walking around looking like zombies. They lean over but they never hit the ground. They're funny. This park isn't like the other places we've been, where it's bright and there's other kids playing. But what can I do? I'm just a kid.
When I was coming up, you couldn't come in this park.
Nah.
This park didn't look nothing like this.
Especially not at my age.
It wasn't even considered a park. It was considered
a strip.
Yeah, strip. You weren't coming through here like that.
Yeah, you couldn't. This wasn't no place where you could come and bring your kids and sit down at a bench and have a picnic with your family.
Or just walk through.
Or just walk through for that matter.
I grew up in Pennsylvania. I saw the greening things grow from seeds to food. These children, a lot of them don't have that.
So for me, it would be coming down to like the local stores right here, avoiding drug addicts, avoiding drug dealers, and also taking advantage of the creek. What I thought was a fun game of just throwing rocks and trash in the water and watching it flow, which is like so big for me. That was that's how I initially took advantage of the park.
We didn't care about keeping it clean because it was already messed up. You know what I'm saying? But being as though it looked the way it looked now, the kids might not want to mess it up, you know what I'm saying?
My friend Maurice, he's a kid too. We both used to spray paint the sidewalks and throw the trash into the park until one day, Maurice said, this park isn't the way God intended. So he spoke out for the park.
Being that young, I think that was probably one of the defining moments in my life where I had a chance to speak out. I was 10 years old and I'm looking at council members and political officials, and I felt like if this goes through, my life could change. It was like a big experience for me. I felt like me being 10 years old at the time, it probably was cute because a 10-year-old kid was up there, but because I had a strong personal feeling about how I wanted the park, how I envisioned the park, I think they really took a response to that.
A lot of the dirt and stuff that I did do when I was young, if things were differently, if the environment that I lived in was a little more differently, I might not have did some of that. I could say that I know I would have did some of the stuff that I did, but some of the other stuff might not have never happened if I had an environment like this.
Because the lesson plan thing, I think, would be really interesting.
You know, we could just show them how we would interact with the trees or whatever while we park.
All the stuff that I learned, my brain starts racing. You know, it's just start racing, right? All the stuff I could have been doing, you know, if I had this information. But now, you know, instead, I'm the type of person, I don't like to talk about stuff, I like to do it.
Hi, I'm Mary. Hi, I'm Terrell.
Then Carlos is going to do his part about why trees are good for the community. Then Akeem is going to do his part about the biology of a tree. I have the notes if you want to look that over. You remember?
You could say, you know, this tree is your height now. In a few years, how big are you going to be?
I need to learn how things grow. I learn an appreciation for life. I see where waste goes and how harmful we can be to our world. So we kids need to learn the right way to treat the earth.
Hello, good morning. My name is Mary McNeil, and I'm with Washington Parks and People Green Corps Training Program, but we're here to teach you all how to plant and maintain trees.
Our children do well when you have a lot of fun with it. And what I mean by fun, it's just how you present it, you know. Throw a joke in,
Raise your hand if you've ever planted a tree before. Okay, we all right. That's what's going on. Raise your hand if you ever planted a candy tree before. Nah, I wish I did too. It's okay. I was young too. I wish I did too.
How does the tree make it get food and sunlight?
By photosynthesis.
Wow, good job.
I wanted to catch them young enough to begin to build on information about greening, because they are urban children and a lot of times they don't get that information. But as you can see, they had quite a bit of information for us about the greening process.
I'm just gonna get it started and I'm gonna let y'all go.
What is that?
That's a rock.
Oh, I thought that was fat.
Sometimes when you're digging, you hit rocks.
Ew, that's a worm too.
Yeah, worms.
The worm though.
Let me pick it up. I like picking up worms.
The worms are down there actually making soil. For the tree to live. So they're important. So don't kill the worm.
That's nasty.
They were engaged. They were focused. They were anxious to answer questions and anxious to participate.
Have any of the kids been to the park, Marvin Gaye Park?
All the time. Because I think when you all started asking questions at the very beginning, something was mentioned about, did you know? And they said, oh yeah, we know about Marvin Gaye Park.
Like this is a dried out version, but you can see a little spider in there too. He even got his little web to make it so comfortable. But this is what the fruit would look like.
Marvin Gaye Park has been, I guess, an icon, in Ward 7 where you come about nature and education. So for the youth, I would say that it's probably one of the best things that happened indefinitely for this community is just resilience, showing strength over time and then being consistent. But it's up to us to make sure that they know that they have a voice and they can have an impact on society, have an impact on their lives, their community, and their family.
Let me ask you something. What do y'all know about Marvin Gaye Park?
That it has a stream that leads through. People call it a street, but some people call it a stream, and it leads through a river. And in the summer, it goes fast, and it might go into the sewage, and the sewage might overflow. But the trees soak up the extra water.
When you watch TV and you see the perfect family, they go down to the local park and the beautiful playground. Often, well, back then that wasn't the case. We had a park, we had a wonderful park, but it needed many improvements, many advancements. Way of life is big as far as development and especially family. So if that way of life, that extra time on a Saturday to come to a park and take advantage to think, breathe, meditate, have family time, that's big. I think that's a part of growing that people take for granted.
Let's look at the future in two ways. There's the future that constantly gets put off till later, and then there's the future you can start now by painting a beautiful picture. Every evasive plant we pull out, every piece of paper and bottle we pick up and recycle is a brushstroke on our canvas. Kids now being able to play on the playground and just being able to walk through the park brings life to our canvas. The youth are the painter. It is our duty to make sure they color inside the lines for a brighter tomorrow.